Okay, quick little thing about some of the features you can find on the C&O Canal. This is one of the buildings that were along the canal that people lived in, that maintained the canal and opened and shut the gates for the canal boats and barges that came through, because this was what connected DC all the way out to, oh, how far does it go? All the way up to Cumberland. Anyways, so this is one of those, you can actually rent some of these for the night or even for a week. Not exactly what I call cheap, and they have no AC, no electricity, so it's like just like they used to live way back then. This is one of the canals I've shown you one before. This one actually has the gate on it, and so this one's banded. It's even got a little thing on it so you can walk across it, which they would have. If you can see these big arms sticking out, what would happen is you would grab this, and somebody would be here and they'd grab it and they'd pull this way, towards the canal, and that would open these gates and water would come flooding through to fill it up, just like a standard lock and dam you see now. And then, before you did that, you would close these. The barge or the boat would come in here into this area here, which is definitely not somewhere you want to be right now. You come down here, you pull these out to close the gates, and you go down there and you'd open the gates and it'd fill up with water, raising the boat up, and then you'd open those again. Oh no, I'm sorry, they'd already be open. They'd sail through, you close them, or another boat would come in to go down, and then you close them and open these. Sorry, that was a little confusing. And then the water would kind of rush down and it would lower the boat down. Now over here is an overflow sluice, and so if the water ever got too high, too much water was coming in from the Potomac River, there's various places where they let water in from the Potomac. They'd come down here. If they rose up to a certain level, they'd spill over. You can actually see it down here. They weren't designed to be super, great at holding anything, because those are low enough. But and this is high enough to keep the water at the right level just naturally. But it would spill over those wooden planks, or they would open that big sluice gate, and then more water could flow through to manage flood stages and things like that. And then we just go down and fill up the next stage, and then there would be another one to do it. Now this one way down at the end has a cofferdam so that it can hold water, so that geese and ducks and fish and that kind of stuff can live in here safely. But that's how it works. Hopefully that was semi-informative and not completely crazy. Anyways, bye. All right, so a little piece of history slash learning. Still on the C&O Canal, and this is, as the sign says, an inlet weir. I know it's kind of hard to see stuff on this camera. So right here is the Potomac River, and they would let water into the canal through here, and this used to apparently be dug a bit deeper, but not overly. And there also used to be like a kind of pier that stuck out to scoop water in, and way off in the distance back there, there's a, try not to fall off this damn thing, there's like a wall, and it's got several adjusters on it that can be twisted and screwed, and it'll raise that wall up to allow water to flow into the canal. Now what we're going to see up here is they've backfilled the canal in because they don't need it. They're not letting the weir do anything. You know, if the water gets high, it just kind of fills that area up, and that's about it. But I'm hoping I know how to attach a picture so that you can kind of see some of the stuff. But so I'm on the towpath, and up here the towpath kind of goes to the right and then up. But what it used to do was actually go right like this, straight up, because bear in mind those mules were still towing the barges in the river, and so it would come up here. I suspect that this was a little more evenly done. It would go across right there where my son is sitting, and it was a bridge that went across for the mules to rise up. You know, they'd be on this here pulling the things along, the boats along, and then they would come across this. Now I don't know if GoPro effect doesn't let you know how huge this is, but this is really big. And so the boats would go straight under and through to the river, and the mules would come on the trail here and across these, obviously not here where the mechanisms were to, you know, open and shut the access to the river, but they'd come across that smaller section there and then down the towpath. And so they had to run the ropes over so that they could keep everybody connected as needed. And so, and then on down the canal if they came this way. And and then the weir is down under all that brush, and it fills in the lower, you know, that next section. There's another place where there's another one of these, and it shows how they, you know, fill all the water in to keep the water levels up, because remember, the water's always going down. Every time they release water, it goes down. So cool stuff. Anyways, bye. Okay, why is it not?